morning, everyone. We're about to get started. I want to thank everybody for being here this morning. This is Team WHIP, and WHIP stands for Working to Help Those in Pink. The nonprofit organization started in 2015 for breast cancer patients, survivors, co-survivors, as we call them, and as well as caregivers. Today, this is sponsored by Forge Breast Cancer Center. I have the shirt on that is out of Birmingham, Alabama. They also service the breast cancer community. And if you see our Team WHIP shirts, they are members, and we'll introduce our Team WHIP members here shortly, but we're here today to support one another. We have Coffee and Connections, or Coffee and Coping Conversations. This is a support group that was started in April of 2024, and they are sponsored by Forge. Support groups are very important to a healing journey. And I posted the other day, and I got it from Sheree. I call her Sheree, I call her Alicia. Healing does not stop when the treatment ends. And so we were in conversation, just sharing about her journey. And she shared some things with me that I didn't know, and then I had also forgotten. So we all know that breast cancer is targeting those under 40 at an alarming rate. No matter what statistics say, we know what the alarming rate is. So we felt that it was deemable for her to come out and just share some things, enlighten all of us, because we can learn, not just because she's younger than 40, but some things she's experienced. That's what this support group is about. It's shared connections and shared journeys. Now, will it always be about breast cancer? We start off with breast cancer, but it ends up going a different direction, but it's still a point of healing for us all. So without further ado, she wants me to introduce. I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
Good morning, everyone. I am a widow of a birthday child, and often we are told how to love others, but we are not taught how to love ourselves, especially after trauma. So I want to discuss that with you all today. Most people think that surviving cancer is the hardest part, or grief. But what they do not talk about, what comes out of it. When everything starts, the appointments slow down, when everybody goes back to their normal life, you know where you're going through. I survived breast cancer at 32.
That's okay, baby.
What surprised me the most was how disconnected I was from myself. That new body after chemo and cancer that I was just not used to. I had to learn how to slow down. Right? I thought, or we're all told, you should just push through what you're going through, just keep going. So I was rushing, trying to rush back to the gym, rush back to that normal everyday life, going back to work too soon after surgery. But in the process of all of that, my body told me that I have to give myself grace and slow down. So I want all of us to know that no matter what kind of trauma we experience, we have to give ourselves grace. Learning to love yourself after trauma for me looks like, I have 5 different things I want to touch on. 1, understanding and accepting that survival changes your life. It changes your love life. How you love yourself and how you love others. Learning that self-love isn't about bouncing back, but staying present in that moment. No, you don't have to dwell in sadness for what you're going through, but accept it for what it is and learn how to navigate those emotions properly and move forward. Love languages apply to you. I came across this reel on Instagram last week where this lady, it was a little funny reel, but real at the same time. She told her man, she was like, I come before you in any alphabet on any day. So I can't be good for you if I'm not good for me. I am still learning that, but that spoke volumes because we can't take care of others, and as mothers, as spouses, significant others, we get caught up in taking care of everybody else and leaving ourselves out to dry. I learned that when I was seeing to my husband for 9 years. All I did was work, go home, be a mom, many nights at the hospital, doctor's appointments, all of that. And I didn't realize till after he passed that I put myself on the back burner. I really put myself on the back burner. And I was suffering and did not even realize it until after the fact. Boundaries are also an act of self-love. We have to set boundaries because if we don't set boundaries, people will go further than you can imagine. Loving yourself out loud gives others permission. I have my people here with me today, and I was always one. First of all, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I immediately thought I don't want anybody to know outside of my close family. But then I started losing my hair quicker than I expected. Like week 3 of chemo, I started just losing my hair. And I was like, I gotta cut it off, but I'm not gonna be in hiding. I'm still gonna be working and going out in public. I'm gonna go celebrate my birthday this weekend. So I texted my mom and I was like, it's time to cut my hair off. She made me an appointment with her best friend to cut my hair off. And I was like, I can't hide this. Everybody's gonna see me. They're gonna know something is going on because if you knew me, you knew how I was about my hair. And they were gonna know something was up with me cutting my hair off all of a sudden. So I decided then, after the weekend with my friends, celebrating my birthday, I said, you know what? Ray, it's okay. It's okay to be seen. It's okay to not hide this because somebody else out there is going through what you are going through. And they're also afraid to speak, or they have gone through what you're going through in silence and they were afraid to speak up. So I decided to put it out on Facebook, and the support I received was overwhelmingly amazing. So I learned then that you have to love yourself out loud. I had to embrace that new bald head and that body that chemo was giving me and love myself out loud. And that also gave everybody else the opportunity to be there for me. Like I never wanted to depend on anybody, but God put me in a position where I had no choice but to lean and depend on those around me. Some days I couldn't get out of bed. People would drop food off, water, whatever I needed at my door. And that is what I needed the most in that time. So survival changes your love life. After trauma such as cancer or grief, the way we give and receive love changes, as I stated, including how we love ourselves. What used to feel like love or loving may no longer fit. Self-love becomes less about doing more and more about feeling safe. Healing asks us to listen differently to our body's emotion and limits. That's something that I struggle with the most because I've always been one that if I have a migraine, I'm gonna get up and go to work anyway, or I'm gonna clean up anyway because I'm kind of OCD. And I have to say a schedule where I clean on a certain day of the week. I do laundry on a certain day of the week, but going through cancer and chemo, I learned all of that stuff can wait. And even today, I still practice that. If I'm not feeling well, you can lay in the bed today. You got 3 days off. One of those other days, you can do what needs to be done around the house. Many of us are taught to override our bodies by pushing through exhaustion, ignoring discomfort, treating pain as weaknesses, and valuing productivity over rest by going to work when you're feeling bad. Healing asks us to stop pushing and to instead listen to our bodies and listen differently by responding with care instead of control. I have an issue with wanting to control the narrative. I do. And I know I can't be the only one. Because as a woman, we overthink and we try to get ahead of things before it happens. I still struggle with that, but I'm learning. Fatigue may be information, not failure. Tension may be a signal, not a flaw. Pain may be communication, not inconvenience. So when healing, we learn our bodies are protecting us, like truly, truly protecting us. Emotions become messengers, not problems to fix. As a survivor, I am guilty of feeling the need to stay positive. And still to this day, even when I pray, I'm like, God, give me the strength to turn all negativity into positivity. But it's okay to acknowledge that negative, acknowledge that hurt. Whatever you are going through, it's okay to acknowledge it. No, you don't have to sit in it, but acknowledge it, ask God to guide you so that you can navigate those emotions properly. You have to let that sadness or hurt exist without rushing it away. Allow yourself to be angry. Nobody is perfect. We are all human. So it's okay to be angry some days. I used to think that if I was angry, I was ungrateful because what am I mad for? I'm here, I'm living, I'm breathing. But no, it is okay. Recognize numbness as self-protection. For me, when my husband passed, I grew a sense of numbness that I really cannot even explain. But after being with someone for 9 years and then suddenly they're not gone. I mean, they're not here, they're gone. It brought a sense of numbness to me. I felt empty. I just felt so empty inside for about a month straight. Everybody else was gone back to work. I was out alone. And I was left to cry every day. But my daughter, she was 6 at the time. She came to me, and for that was her dad. So for her to come to me and tell me, Mama, it's okay. You can keep going. You don't have to be sad. My dad is in a better place. That right there taught me, right, you got to get up. You got to shake this grief and you got to get up and keep going. And I have kept going ever since. But if I said it's easy, I would be lying. Because just this year alone has been a hard year with that grief. And my husband passed 6 years ago. So there's no time limit on grief or how you deal with your trauma. There's no time limit at all. So healing isn't about fixing what is broken. It is about listening to yourself with compassion. Love languages apply to you. When I say that, literally, I mean, it applies to you. You cannot love or be there for anyone else if you're not good within yourself. If you don't love you, how can someone else love you correctly? That looks like, for me, patience. I have learned to be very patient with myself. You have to be patient and allow yourself to sit and feel your emotions. Words, change how you talk to yourself. Instead of, Ray, you got to push through and just keep going. Yeah, your head is hurting, but you got to get up and go to work. No, Ray, why is your head hurting? Have you eaten? Are you stressed? Maybe you should take this day to figure out what's going on with you and fix that headache, if possible. Time, create self-care days. Me, self-care is going to the gym 3 to 4 times. Fridays, every 2 to 3 weeks, I go to the nail shop. It's just a nail shop, get my nails and toes done, but that is time to myself. Time outside of those 4 walls at home, time outside of chaos at work, all of it. Service, set boundaries and rest. It's okay to rest. We often think that resting is laziness, is a form of laziness, but it's not. I have learned that, like, I used to babysit my twin nieces every single weekend or every chance I got, I was babysitting. And I didn't realize how exhausting it was for me. I was never resting, never. By the time I'm off Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. By the time Sunday came, I was so exhausted going to work Monday, exhausted. So now I have learned, like, no, you can't babysit. If asked, no. If you don't feel like it, no. You have to say no. Regardless of how it's gonna make somebody else feel, you have to put you first. Touch, reclaim your body gently. For me, that looks like I lost my boobs, I lost my hair. When I say I lost every single hair on my body, I lost all of that. I embrace that though, even with all of my scars. I don't want to go too far in that with it, but we're all women here. When having a mastectomy, for me, I lost my nipple. So I am scarred, but I'm not ashamed of those scars. I'll still put on a bikini Still put on a low-rise shirt. Embrace that because those are my war wounds. Like, I'm still here. That's all that matters to me. Gifts. Honor your survivorship because regardless of your trauma, you survived it. Realize you are not perfect and gift yourself and embrace the you that you are now. Boundaries are active self-love. We must realize protecting our peace is not selfish at all. We have to protect our peace. We have to. Like, we really have to. Rest is productive, not laziness. Don't be too hard on yourself. You are not behind or ungrateful for still healing. It takes time. As I told y'all, this year has been one of the hardest for me so far with grief. And I just have to let myself accept that and just navigate through it. Your progress is not supposed to look like anyone else's. And with social media today and everything that we see on there, some people see it and think, okay, well, why is this happening to them but not happening for me? How are they able to move on, but I'm not? Your progress is your progress, not anyone else's. So don't ever feel like you're falling short because you're still here and they're still there. You never know what they're going through. Everybody goes through something. Everybody goes through something. So nobody's perfect. And although it might look good, that does not mean it's good. So it's always best to focus on you. Trust God that He has what He has for you, because what's for you is for you. Loving yourself out loud gives others permission. As I stated, my people, my crew, me loving myself out loud gives them the opportunity to love me too. And we all probably hadn't even realized until I was diagnosed with breast cancer how much we all need each other at every moment of our life. Not just then. Now, some people you lose along the way, and they are just there for that moment. So I'm not speaking on them, but those who are there with you before, then, and after, you have to show them that you are accepting of their love, your love for yourself and their love for you. When someone sees you loving yourself out loud by setting boundaries, resting publicly, and speaking kindly about your body, you disrupt that silence that they often have, wondering if it's okay to love. You show that struggle doesn't have to be hidden to be valid. Same with me wanting to hide my breast cancer journey in the beginning. Self-love out loud looks like resting without apologizing and acknowledging your scars without shame, acknowledging emotional exhaustion without minimizing it. It's okay to see that you are emotionally tired. We must learn that we are not obligated to always be strong. And I know that's a struggle. That is a struggle. But it's okay to not be strong. Because then you put more stress on yourself and you just made your trauma in your situation worse. You don't have to be perfect, healed, or confident to. You just have to be honest. So before I close today, that kind of fucking in Before I close, can I ask you all something? Which version of self-love feels the hardest for you right now? Is it rest, boundaries, kindness with yourself, or patience?
Grace, I know we talked about it. Guys, I just started taking naps. Y'all might say, Maya, what? I never took naps growing up. Once I'm in bed, I'm in bed. So I've been resting after church on Sundays. You know, like Ray said, saying no to some things. No, I need go here. I get some extent. So that's my motto over here. So rest, and I tell best friend, girl, I'm gonna sleep in the nap. And like he said, I used to feel bad, like you gonna miss out on something, or you alone. I'm like, no, don't sleep. Wake up, put your phone on, vibration off, and just rest. So thank you, best friend, for encouraging me to rest. You're welcome.
Anybody else?
I didn't remember. I heard part of the question. What was it again?
Which version of self-love feels the hardest for you right now?
That part is saying no.
The boundaries.
The boundaries. And the reason that is because if I say no, I feel like I'm guilty. Because we go back and we have a tendency to think of things that someone else may have done something for us and we're in debt to them.
Yeah.
So even though what the Bible tells us we're here for service, you know, so I'm just gonna use my niece here for instance. So if she asks me to watch the baby, if she asks me to watch the baby, and I may say no, but then I start thinking about, okay, well, she did this for me for my children 15 years ago.
Right.
So you start bringing, oh, I don't you bring that up.
That's how we do. No, seriously though, like.
Yeah, so I'm learning to set boundaries now, and when I tell you I am feeling so much better.
Yes.
You have to, and you know, not just being a cancer survivor, but for your mental well-being, set boundaries and don't feel guilty.
That's exactly right.
Set your boundaries and it's okay to say no, cause no is at the top of my list now. Will you no? No. I don't mind saying no. I used to feel guilty when I said no, even with the twins. Will you? No. No. It's my time. It's my set. No, so them boundaries is the best thing for us.
There you go, say, make me the last person on the list that you got to call. I want to be very, very, very long.
But that's something we have to learn. We have to develop the ability to say no. That used to be hard for me because I used to always feel guilty. Well, Ray, you really ain't got nothing to do today, so you can watch it for a couple of hours. That couple of hours turns into 5, and then all night. No, we not doing that. But I don't know.
And
It's very
understand,
important.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Understand too, also saying no don't mean that you love someone less.
Right.
It's okay to say no, because saying no is you loving yourself.
That's exactly right.
So just because you say no, doesn't mean to being mean, it doesn't mean that you don't love somebody, or it just means no. I can love you but still say no, because it's about self-love.
Yes,
And what you need.
Yeah, what you
And
need.
if you're not good for yourself,
You're not.
can be good for anybody else. So I want to leave you all with a reminder today.
I'm sorry, I just want to share this. Miss Francis, who's our coordinator from Forge, she says extending grace to herself in the midst of grief.
Amen. Yeah.
So just remember, you're not behind, you are not broken, you are not required to be over it to be worthy of love. I have always felt just gotta be over it. You got to just keep going because the world doesn't stop. So I've always felt like, right, you just gotta push through, you gotta keep going, but not anymore. Healing doesn't mean forgetting what has happened to you. And with grief, that's something that numbness brought me kind of just trying to forget what happened. Because I'm not gonna get into it, but it wasn't just a sense of losing my husband. I mean, I was there, me and my daughter was there, we found him. So trying to forget that, which is something we'll never forget. But I am guilty of just trying to put that in the back of my mind. It just means learning to stay present with yourself after your trauma, regardless of what your trauma is. Doesn't have to be cancer, doesn't have to be grief, anything that you've gone through or are going through. If today all you gained was permission to rest or to speak for yourself gently, stop apologizing, start healing, then this time mattered to me. Loving yourself after trauma isn't loud or perfect. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's messy. However, it is real and it is enough. So thanks, y'all.